Hi everyone, today we will discuss chapter 21 of your civics column, that is democracy in action. Now democracy in action, when I say in action, here it means that how those key features and principles which we discussed in the last chapter or in the last previous videos, how those principles, how those basic features of democracy are actually implemented into the society. How are they practically used in the society? For example, if it's election system, so on what basis elections are done, on what basis candidates are selected, on what basis or what is the criteria for this election process. So that's all in depth we will discuss in this chapter. Let's quickly find out that what are the learning objectives of this chapter. First and foremost, we'll find out about what is universal adult franchise. Then we will find out about elections, and that will include the electoral process along with the roles and responsibilities of election commission. Then next we'll find out about the types of elections. There are 3-4 different kinds of types of elections which are taking place. Then political parties, we have different types of political parties as well. Then coalition government, what is the role of coalition government in a democratic form of government? Then last but not the least, role of opposition parties in democracy. So this democratic chapter is going to be very interesting. Let's find out more about it. Let's find out about universal adult franchise. You know what, when I talk about universal adult franchise, first thing that comes to my mind is it's the most effective tool or weapon of democracy. Without universal adult franchise, democracy is incomplete, or I would say democracy has no meaning without universal adult franchise. Let's find out what it is. Universal adult franchise means right to vote. When a particular person, let's say if we talk about India, as an Indian citizen, when a person attains the age of 18 years or above, no one can deny or no one can restrict that person's right to vote. If someone is doing so, then that's a punishable offense. Then this is on no discrimination basis. Whether I'm a girl, boy, I'm from lower class, upper class, caste or different section, different race, no discrimination, no basis of discrimination. Everyone is equal to vote. Only eligibility that is required is you should be 18 years or above, you should be citizen of that particular country, and you should have your proper voter ID card or identification. Then next is, this works on one agenda, one person, one vote. This is one agenda of or tagline of universal adult franchise. Why one person, one vote? So that there could be accountability and stability maintained in democratic form of society. For example, what is accountability here? Accountability means when someone is answerable. Accountability means being answerable to the public here. Now, let's say if government takes up any decision or makes up a law, then it is the responsibility of our government to be answerable to the public that on what basis they have made that law and what are the changes that they are making. So every government or every political party in democratic form of government is answerable or accountable to the public. So that's why it works on this agenda of one person and one vote, so that there could be free and fair system of elections. Now that's all about universal adult franchise. We'll move further to the topic of election. Next we will talk about elections, which forms the basis for democracy. Without elections, democracy is totally incomplete. Yes, no universal adult franchise would be there and no other electoral process will be conducted if elections are not there. So let's find out. In elections, everyone is free to vote. We know that everyone in the country, irrespective of any discrimination, can go and vote to the representative which they wish to. Then they can choose their effective government. It's my choice, it's my will. Will here means my wish. It's my will and my wish that whom I want to choose, whom I want to give vote. I may not be pressurized from any organization or any person. So it's totally up to me that whom I want to vote for. Then legitimacy here basically means a legal and fair form of elections. That means through elections, whichever political party party is elected or whichever political representative is elected, that is totally and purely on the basis of choice of public, and no unfair means or no manipulation was done to get into power. So that's why we say through elections, whichever party or a person or a leader which is elected, that person gets the credibility and legitimacy tag as well. Then political education, when we guys go and vote, before that obviously everyone will do some of the research work, that for example if any political party is in power, whether that political party has done something good, or let's say whether that government which was in power have they done something good for the welfare of the public or not. So I'll find out something good and something bad about that party, and about also for the other competents who are contesting the elections. So this will give me political education for my country and of my democratic form of system. Then we have these representative form of government, that means usually and mostly the elections are conducted in for Lok Sabha members, for state legislative assembly, for municipal corporation and other local bodies as well. So we can conclude that elections play a very vital role in democratic form. Have you ever thought that who actually conducts elections, or who actually takes up the responsibility of controlling all the election processes, or of counting the votes and then announcing it and then telling you in which constituency or which area you have to go and vote, who takes care or who works for your voter ID cards, and who is that, which is that organization, who is that person who is behind all this? Let's find out about that. That is Election Commission of India. Yes. Now when I say Election Commission of India, this Election Commission is whole and sole responsible for conducting free and fair elections in our country. Yes. Now this Election Commission is an independent body, that means it doesn't come under any part of or any organ of the government like legislative, executive or judiciary. It is totally an independent body which works to just conduct free and fair elections all over the country. Then who heads over the Chief Election Commission? That is Chief Election Commissioner. Chief Election Commissioner is the one who heads over it, who organizes it, and then there are two other election commissioners also who works in conjunction with him. Conjunction means they work hand in hand, they work along with each other. Now, constituency. We discussed, I used this term when I was discussing about election commission, roles and responsibilities of election commission. So what basically a constituency is and what role it plays. So constituency is basically a geographical area. I told you earlier as well, area which is divided, and on that particular area is represented by one candidate. So one constituency will always have one representative or one candidate for governance. Then next is returning officer. Returning officer is one who takes care of conducting elections in that particular constituency. For example, I told you Chief Election Commissioner, he takes care for overall elections all over the country. But here returning officer will take care of elections that are conducted in particular constituency. So one constituency will have a returning officer for free and fair elections, conduct of that. Then it will have one candidate who will represent it, and one constituency is basically a division of geographical area on the basis of population or density of population which is there in that particular area. Now, if any one of you thinks that you have to grow up and be a candidate or be a part of any political party, or you want to become a political representative, so there are some basic eligibility criteria which you need to fulfill. Now, what are those eligibility criteria? Let's find out. That means now we are going to figure out that if you want to be a candidate, if you want to be a part of a political party, or if you want to independently contest for the elections, then what you need to do? First and foremost, you need to be a citizen of India. Now, if you are standing up for the elections for our country, so you need to have legal citizenship for India. Then you should be at least 25 years of age. Below 25 years, you can't stand up for the elections, you can't be a representative. At least 25 years of age or above that to be a part or to become a political representative. Then next is, you should not be convicted to any kind of offense. Offense means you should not be convicted in any kind of illegal activities or any activities which is against the laws. The next is no imprisonment of 2 years or more. So if you are in prison, if you are behind the bars, if you were in jail for 2 years or more, then you can't be a political leader. You can't contest for elections. So these are few basic things or eligibility criteria which you need to fulfill to be a candidate in elections. To be a candidate means become political representative or to be a part of election system.